how are you doing? In this occasion, I'm gonna give you some information about ransomware infection in older version of Windows operating system. In this occasion, I'm planning to use some slideshots with some images and a short video at the end of my informative speech where you will have better understanding with these graphical mediums about what I'm talking about. More than 64 countries were infected earlier this month, according with the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times redaction. More than 64 countries around the world were targeted by two kinds of ransomware this month and the last one. The information that I'm going to give you is pretty relevant because I did the research in important web pages with some journals and books that have professionals to review all the information and give the okay after review the information. A ransomware attack in the world are taking advantage of the antivirus and security or Windows operating system and Windows user. Antivirus and security. And today antivirus and computer and network security are the best option that we have to protect our data and operating system against dangerous programs. We have a lot of antivirus in the market today, such as Avast, Avira, Kaspersky, Windows Defender, Norton, Asset, and a lot of more antivirus. To this antivirus work against some ransomwares or malwares, they have to know exactly that the program is dangerous. Get the update with the information about the program that is dangerous, because the company that make the software make the upgrade to your antivirus and say, hey, this software is malicious. If the computer try to run the software, block it. But in the other hand, if it's a new virus, in this case a new ransomware, any antivirus didn't have idea about this ransomware, because that was the reason that it took more than 2,000 millions of computers around the world. The security in computers and network are set from the Windows computer to the ISP provider, Internet Service Provider. In this occasion, it happened the same that happens with the antivirus. The computer didn't have set to this kind of ransomware, so this ransomware took the place where the computer didn't have the configuration and took over all the data that was in the computer. So Windows operating system, the ransomware that has been attacking the world is looking out for machine that has Windows installed. The most vulnerable computer for this ransomware are the Windows machine. Take a look. If you have this logo in your computer with Windows XP, you can be an easy target easily targeted by a ransomware. The problem is that a lot of operating systems, a lot of computers, a lot of student companies use Windows XP and they don't have any support, any configuration, any upgrade from Microsoft, and the hackers knows that. At the same time, those windows are easy to penetrate. I mean, it's easy for a hacker go into the windows and take over all your data or the information that you have in your Windows. So Windows XP, Windows Server 2003, and Windows older than 12 years are those that have the problem, and are the easy are making the big infection because they have security problems and the hackers know it. For this reason, computers have to be better and the user too. Users. The ransomware is a malicious program that needs someone to run it in the computer. Here is where the user of Windows computer that are using computers with Windows older than 15 years, like Windows XP, that have security issues, they have to be careful. The user have to be careful about things that they click on the internet and web page that they go. This malicious program needs a person to click it. Like in this image, we can see for the hacker is the red computer sent a file in an email to a user in an organization, a hospital or in a college, but let's say a hospital. When he clicked the email, he opened the file with the ransomware. So the ransomware took over the computer and it sent a copy to all the computers in the network, infecting all the computers in the hospital. That way isn't the way how the ransomware infect computers, and how we can see this image is how the ransomware turn your computer with a sign telling you that you are infected by the ransomware, and he's asking you by a ransom. You have to pay in Bitcoin because you will lose your data. Anyway, if you pay or you don't pay, you will lose your data, your information, everything that you have in your computer if you have a victim of a ransomware. So for this, is we that use Windows computer, we have to be sure about what operating system we have, what grades we get from Microsoft and more. When a computer is infected by this malicious program, he will lose all your data. In conclusion, the ransomware infection were more and bigger due to antivirus and security or Windows computers and Windows user. I believe with this information you won't use older Windows anymore, and you will be careful about emails and web pages on the internet. Now I'm going to show you a short video how the ransomware works.
The word ransomware is a combination of ransom and software and refers to any kind of malware that demands a ransom from a user in exchange for the return of a kidnapped file. Kidnapped? Ransom? Is this for real? Yes, basically, this threat works just like a kidnapping in real life, except the things held captive are your files, which may be multimedia files, office files, or system files that your computer relies on to work properly. How is it spread? Typical methods are through attachments sent via unsolicited emails, or by clicking on a link in an email that claims to be from a bank or delivery company. They are also distributed through peer-to-peer file sharing networks, being passed on through activation keys for popular software, like Adobe Photoshop and Microsoft Office. What kinds are there? There are two kinds. The first is called a file coder, which encrypts the files. And the second is a lock screen, which locks the computer and stops you using it until you have paid the ransom. This type of threat sometimes employs psychological methods to trick you and pressurize you into paying. In some cases, the lock screen also incorporates a live transmission of what the webcam is currently seeing, which creates a feeling that someone really is watching you. Other times, The message on the lock screen takes the form of a notice from a national police force, which states that the authorities require you to pay a fine, because they have found evidence that your computer contains images of child abuse or bestiality, or that you have visited illegal websites or used pirated software. So do you have to pay? We do not recommend paying, for two reasons. Firstly, there is no way to stop the attackers demanding more money from you. And secondly, if you pay the ransom, you are helping create a new market for cybercriminals, which could lead to further ransomware attacks, as well as other types of attacks in the future. Rather than pay, it is better to learn the lesson. Make sure to back up your data regularly so you can recover your files if you are unlucky enough that it happens again. And also make sure to get better protection for your computer. As always, prevention is better than the cure. If you have a good security solution and run frequent backups, you shouldn't have any problems. Keep enjoying everything that technology has to offer you.